You probably think you've got women all figured out. Maybe you've read a bunch of articles, watched YouTube breakdowns, maybe even that one book with female brain in the title. But let me stop you right here. No, you don't. And it's not your fault. You were raised on cartoons, fairy tales, and movie scripts that had nothing to do with real life. They told you women are these mystical, complicated puzzles you have to decode like ancient runes. Truth is, it's not really like that. Actually, it's both easier and harder than you think. Easier because, yes, there are patterns, but harder because you've been looking for them in all the wrong places. Men spend hours, days, even picking apart a text message. One emoji instead of 3. She's mad. A period after okay. She hates me. Or well, she's sitting in her PJs watching Netflix, completely unaware that you're in detective mode trying to solve a crime that doesn't exist. Here's the reality. Women aren't overanalyzing you the way you're overanalyzing them. They're not pulling up a board with red strings, connecting all your messages. They just respond based on how they feel at that moment. That's it. Pure present moment emotion, not a master plan, not a hidden code. I remember being 22, obsessed with this girl from my uni. She seemed untouchable, gorgeous, smart, way out of my league. I spent weeks figuring out when to talk to her, how to do it, what to say. I knew her coffee order, where she studied, what book she was reading. Finally, went up to her. She was having a horrible day because her cat was sick. She didn't care about anything I said. Didn't matter what genius line I had ready. Her brain was with her cat. 2 weeks later, I run into her at a party. Half drunk, say something dumb like the music sucks, and boom, we start talking. That moment led to a 2-year relationship, not because I cracked the code, but because she was just in the right emotional space. Her energy aligned with mine. That's all. The conditions were different. I didn't make magic. I caught the wave. That's what you don't get. Women's feelings are like the weather. You don't control it. You check the sky, bring an umbrella, and hope for sun. But guys, they think if they wear the perfect outfit, say the perfect thing, make 6 figures, they can control the forecast. That's not how it works. Her mood, her interest, her openness, that stuff shifts constantly. It's not always about you. It could be her hormones, her boss, a weird dream she had, or the fact her lunch sucked. You're just one variable in a sea of variables. And here's the kicker. Most women don't fully understand their own psychology either. Ask her why she chose her boyfriend and she'll give you a sweet, logical answer. He's kind. He listens. He's got a good job. That's not why. That's what her mind came up with later. It's like asking someone why they love chocolate. They'll say, because it's sweet. But the truth, it hits some emotional, chemical place inside them. The explanation is just a story added after the fact. Women feel something first. The story comes later. Always. That's why all your logic, all your carefully written texts and lists of good traits, they don't work. Attraction doesn't run on logic. It runs on emotion. You can't argue your way into someone's heart. You ever see a woman with a guy who seems to have none of the qualities she claims to want? That S. Because what women say they want and what actually lights them up are 2 different things. On paper, they want tall, funny, successful. In real life, they fall for someone who doesn't match that at all, but hits the right emotional tone. Biggest mistake men make. Taking her list too literally. She says she wants someone nice who brings flowers. So, you go all in. You're opening doors like it's your full-time job. You're texting good morning with a quote from Rumi every day, and then she starts dating the guy who doesn't even remember her birthday. Why? Because that guy made her feel something. You made her feel safe, predictable, expected. That's not always a good thing. A lot of guys end up as the human equivalent of warm oatmeal. Comfortable? Sure. But no one's craving it. The more you seek her approval, the more unattractive you seem. It's wild, but it's real. The more you orbit around her, cancel your plans for her, shapeshift into whatever she likes, the less she's into you. You become easy to figure out. Safe. And women aren't wired for safe. They're wired for interesting. They chase that feeling, that curiosity, that unknown. Not games, just tension, drama, contrast. It keeps the emotional volume turned up. You know what happens when you become the "I'm always here for you" guy? You become the guy she trusts, but doesn't want. Because safety isn't attraction. Emotional intensity is. And that intensity comes from friction, challenge, unpredictability. It's what triggers real emotional investment. Let's stop here. For now. Most guys think agreeing with everything a woman says will make her like them more. Yes, dear. You're totally right. That person at work was awful to you. But constant agreement doesn't make you seem supportive. It makes you seem spineless. And no woman is attracted to a man who has no spine. Even if she says she wants someone soft and understanding, what she feels pulled toward is someone with strength, not someone who folds like paper. And here is the truth no one wants to hear. Women are drawn to emotion. All emotions. Not just joy, not just laughter, but intensity, confusion, tension, fire. That's why sometimes they stay with guys who aren't good for them. It's not because they enjoy being hurt. It's because those guys make them feel something. That emotional roller coaster can be addictive. And the nice guy who always says the right thing, does the right thing, keeps everything calm and perfect, he's forgettable. He's a lukewarm bath. I had a buddy, lawyer, great guy, fit, smart, treated every woman like a queen. Couldn't keep a relationship for more than a few months. Women would get bored. One of his exes ended up dating some broke bartender who still lived with his mom. Total mess, on paper. But he was unpredictable, raw, passionate. You never knew what version of him you'd get. That tension kept her hooked. That brings me to how women talk. When they vent, they're not asking for solutions. I know it sounds crazy. They bring you a problem. You assume they want it fixed. That's not it. They want to feel heard. They want to talk through the feeling itself, not get instructions. You give a solution, they feel dismissed. It sounds like your feelings don't matter. Just do this. Even if your advice is right, you still lose. Women speak in emotion, in subtext. She says, "I'm fine." It often means the opposite. "I don't care where we eat" might mean she really cares. "We need to talk" might mean things are falling apart. And no, she's not trying to manipulate you. This is just how women are wired to communicate through vibes, tone, body language, emotion. They expect you to feel the message, not decode it like a puzzle. Now let's talk about sex. Men? Simple, like a light switch. On or off. Women, more like a giant mixing board with 50 knobs and sliders. Everything matters. The mood. The lighting. Whether you said something annoying earlier, if she had a bad day, if the room feels too cold, if her favorite show got canceled, all of that affects her desire. And it's not logical, it's responsive. You can be doing all the right things, and still, something feels off to her and it shuts everything down. Women don't just wake up. Right? They need context, emotional safety, the right environment. That's why they can go months without thinking about sex, and then suddenly feel deeply connected and intimate, out of nowhere. It's not about being hot, it's about how you make her feel. Here's a weird one. Women find men more attractive when other women want them. If you're getting zero attention from women, you seem low value. If you've got options, you suddenly become high value. Same guy, different perception. It's like an empty restaurant versus a packed one. People assume the crowded place is better. Same logic. A man who's wanted must have something valuable. There's also this thing called retroactive jealousy. A woman might not want you until you pull away or move on. Tenso envy. She starts texting again, showing interest. Not because she's playing games, but because loss wakes up emotional urgency. When you're always available, always on call, there's no reason for her to chase. No tension. But once you're gone, now she feels it. That's when she starts to wonder what she's losing. I dated this girl once who showed almost no interest in me. Cold, distant. So I let go, moved on, started focusing on myself and dating other people. Suddenly, she's calling, texting, asking where I am. I didn't fake it. I actually moved on. That shift, me becoming scarce, made her realize what she might miss out on. That's how the brain works. Scarcity equals value. Simple. Modern women are pulled in two directions. Society tells them to be strong, independent, never rely on a man. But their instincts still respond to classic masculine traits. Strength, leadership, calmness, under pressure. That inner conflict shows up in relationships. She says she wants the emotionally open guy who shares his feelings, but deep down she's drawn to the man who holds it together. And let's not forget, social media. Every woman now has hundreds of guys in her DM. Likes, compliments, hearts, all the time. That constant flood of attention messes with her perception. She gets praise from her value guys online, even if those guys have no intention of being serious. But still, it creates a sense of, I deserve better. Problem is, attention isn't commitment. Validation isn't love. But the brain doesn't know the difference. A like feels like attraction. And so, she starts comparing real-life guys to this fantasy version that lives in her notifications, and no one in real life can measure up. That's why even great guys get overlooked. Not because they were not good enough, but because she is comparing reality to filtered fiction.